So this is my phone case. I just took my phone out for a bit because it feels like it was overheating, and taking off the case from my phone gave me an idea of a video I could make about some of the applications, the apps that I have on my phone that I've used a lot since I've come to college, and ways that maybe these apps can also help you, how technology in general has been, I think, improving our education. Sometimes it's a major distraction, but it can also have good aspects to it. Okay, I use a app called NextBus that I have to turn on my GPS on my smartphone as well, and I have to turn on some kind of internet like Wi-Fi or my data plan. And what this app does is it tracks down the closest buses to me, because usually these buses will have some kind of GPS system on the actual bus. Because buses tend to come later or earlier than the actual time that they claim that they will come, you can use the NextBus app to track down exactly when the bus will come. And I've found that it's fairly accurate, but it will have glitches. Like just today, the glitch that I had was that the app said that my bus was coming in, quote, arriving and 1 minute, unquote. Like, how can the bus be arriving and coming in 1 minute? And when the bus actually arrived, the app suddenly changed its mind, and it said that the bus was arriving and coming in 9 minutes. So there wasn't some kind of consecutive coming of buses. It didn't happen. There wasn't a bus coming now and 1 minute later. There was just something wrong with the application. There are glitches with it. I use a calendar app, which I find really helpful for organizing things. I'm not quite sure what that application is called, but there are a lot of calendar apps. There are several programs that I have on my computer and applications that I have on my phone for music. These are free radio stations free radio apps such as Pandora, iHeartRadio. Those two are the most popular for cell phone. And on my laptop and computer and on the internet, I use Spotify because it allows me to have the most options in terms of customizing exactly what songs I want. It will let you create playlists. It will let you make playlists of exactly what songs you want in each playlist, and I think that's really cool. It's a very high level of customizability. You want to have some kind of flashlight app, for sure. For days when the power goes out and you have to walk out of your house. After you get out of your dorm rooms, after the first year of college and you move out of your dorms, and the power happens to go out in your house, like it happens occasionally in the winter for me. I have to go out and flick the switch that controls the electricity in the entire house. So have some kind of flashlight app. Or when you're waking up in the middle of the night in the dorms and you have to go to the restroom or anything, you don't want to wake up your roommates. The flashlight app is helpful. Some kind of voice recorder and some kind of camera or some kind of film recorder would be nice. You might not need to buy a lot of things, actually. If you can often replace one piece of technology for several other pieces of technology. Like my phone is my alarm clock, it's my calendar, it's my music player, it's replaced my iPod, it's my GPS system, and now it's also my voice recorder for lectures. Just make sure that your professor knows that you're recording the lecture And often, if you just use it for educational or private use, then there usually isn't an issue with lectures being recorded. Usually the syllabus will tell you right away if the lecture can or cannot be recorded, but check just to make sure. Don't want to infringe on any copyright laws on accident. But usually if you record it just for yourself, it should be okay. Delete any games that you have on your phone. You don't need those. If you can, actually, don't get into internet radio because it gets pretty addicting as well. You really don't want to have games on your phone if you can help it. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. If you like to read, or if you are considering buying ebooks, e-textbooks, anything like that, then there are several applications for reading files. Definitely you need some kind of Adobe PDF reader. Not necessarily Adobe itself, but some kind of reader to open up these files that you may download from the internet. You can often find a lot of free lectures, a lot of free slideshows on the internet that you can download onto your phone and read off as a PDF, and those are usually really helpful. And sometimes they're from really legitimate universities, and they're very clear. Sometimes it's nice to get a different professor's perspective on some topic. So yeah. PDF reader is nice. As for book readers, you have Kindle. I believe that Nook itself is also an app that you can download. The thing that people don't know about Amazon Kindle is that it's an application and it's not just the Kindle device. You can read Kindle books off of your laptop and off of your smartphone. Like, you download it and you just get it connected through Wi-Fi or the internet or data plan onto your Kindle app on whatever device you have, and you can read Kindle books on your phone. The font's going to be really small. You can change that, but it'll still be really small, but it's very portable, and you might want to consider doing that. Library books. Library books about anything, like library textbooks. You can download an application called Overdrive Media Console. I believe that's the name for it. Usually it's shortened to Overdrive. And you can download library books onto it and read them off of that. And I think the application has improved so much over the past year or so. It's a really, really, really good application. A lot of libraries are using it. I know that I think County of Los Angeles Library, the Los Angeles Library is using it. San Jose Public Libraries System is using it as well. And you can often borrow books. There's usually a very limited amount of digital copies of books that you can get. But yeah, definitely you can borrow library books. You might be on a really long wait list, though. I'm just warning you about that. Because often libraries only have maybe 2 or 3 copies of a particular book in some kind of e-format. That's just to make sure that money keeps flowing into the publishers of these books. And to make sure that people keep going to the library, so the library gets some money flowing in as well. Some very much needed money, in fact, needs to flow in soon into the San Jose Public Library System. It's been very unfortunate these past few years. Overdrive Media Console. This application can also open up EPUB files. And usually, you can sometimes purchase books in EPUB format. Very rarely. Usually they're in some kind of Nook or Kindle format. But that's also a plus. Oh, and when you use Overdrive and you check out a book, usually you can pick out what format you want that ebook to be in. For example, Kindle format, Nook format, PDF, etc. and after your due date comes, then the book will suddenly just disappear from your Kindle library or whatever application library that you have for that book. It will just disappear and you can't read it anymore. You'll have to check it out again from that library. Dropbox, Box, SugarSync, all those applications for storage, Google Drive, are good to have on your phone in case you want to bring up any school files. You have them in your Dropbox in some kind of secure, safe location that you can access anytime. Some kind of cloud storage would be nice to have on your phone as well. Some kind of note-taking application would be good. Usually you're going to make your most intense notes. You're going to take your most intense notes on your iPad or on your laptop, but for quick notes like reminders, use either your calendar app or use some kind of notepad. I don't know if Evernote is offered for smartphones, but I've heard that it's a really good notepad. I've used it before on my Kindle, and I found that I don't particularly like it very much. For me, it seems too complicated. I just want a simple notepad, so I just have a simple notepad application. As you download a bunch of applications into your phone, it's going to take up a lot of memory, so you might want to download something that will free up your junk files, some kind of cleaner for your phone. What I use on my phone is called Clean Master, and what it does is it will delete all my junk files, all my cache. That's CACHE, not my cash as in my money, but CACHE. Deletes all that, frees up a lot of my memory and speeds up my phone. It's been very helpful ever since I've started downloading a lot more stuff into my phone. Sometimes they're labeled as memory boosters, so definitely download that. Sometimes your university or school will offer some kind of application that you can use. I'm not sure if iTunes U is offered. It stands for iTunes University. I think that might be an application that you can also download, but any kind of video applications offered by your college where you have all the lectures in one place, all the recorded lectures in one place, you might want to download that. Figure out what your school has to offer. If your school offers some kind of application where you can get warned about people accessing your college account, any kind of fraudulent activity, any kind of bomb threats on your school campus. We've actually gotten a lot of those within the past year. It's been ridiculous how many bomb threats we've been getting. They're all just that, they're just threats. And there was a terrible situation with a fire on campus that happened just in 2013. And fortunately, my phone warned me about that and told me to get off of campus, so I did. And for UC Berkeley, that system is called Warn Me. And how it works is you go on the website and you enter in. Through my college website, I entered in my phone number, and it sent me a text message warning me about staying off of campus during these kinds of situations. So realize what kind of applications that your school offer. You can get some kind of weather app that will tell you about the current weather. Very useful if you're going to be moving, especially to the San Francisco Bay Area. The weather here is so unpredictable, and it gets really, really cold. Even in the summer, it's just ridiculous. And it's really true what people say about the weather in Berkeley. Sometimes the weather can change from day to day. I've had rainy mornings and scorching hot afternoons all on the same day. Some kind of email app would be helpful. What I have on my phone is Gmail, and you can stack your accounts. So your logged into only one of your accounts at a time, but they're all in a single list. So if you want to switch from one Gmail account to another, then you can do that very easily just by checking off a different box. And that's a really quick alternative to turning on your laptop and checking your mail through Gmail. If you're not starting with Facebook, do not download Facebook. Never download Facebook. But if you do use Facebook for educational purposes, like I'm in a lot of the UC Berkeley groups just to keep in touch with people who have the same interests and goals as I do. I use Facebook for educational purposes. I do. So I also have the Facebook app on my phone. And that's been helpful, especially in keeping in touch with people during projects or even emergencies, any familial situations. Texting, phone, chat on Facebook, just ways of keeping in touch with people. You may also want to download some kind of calculator application, just in case you don't happen to have your calculator in one day. Some of the applications are pretty complex. They're not as good as a scientific calculator, but they get really, really close to being on that level in some cases. My advice for that is download the application only up to the level of complicatedness that you need to be, up to the level of complexity that you need to be. Because usually when the calendar apps get more and more complicated, it takes up more and more memory, and you have to keep deleting your cache on those applications. So get the calculator that you need, that only get the basic calculator that you need. If you need something that's closer to a scientific calculator, download that. If you only need addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, just get a very simple calculator app. It will take up less memory usually. So this video is getting very long and unwieldy, so I think I'll cut it off here. And I think basically I covered most of what I needed to say. Maybe the only other thing would be a kind of video player or YouTube player, just to make things simple for any kind of research you have to do on YouTube. So I'm going to end my video here, and maybe I could figure out a way to shorten this upload in some way, where maybe I just list everything on a sheet of paper. Because this video is getting kind of unwieldy, I apologize for that. But thank you for sticking around until the end, the very few of you who actually stick around to the end. Alright, thanks for watching.